What is up, everyone? Welcome to round 6 of the Portland Monthly Premodern Paper Magic Afternoons May 2025 tournament. We got 2 red decks to show you, so let's get in those deck lists. First up, we have Curran with red-green Angry Elves. Now, we've seen this list from him in the past, and I do believe this is pretty close to the same list he was running the last time we saw this on camera, minus, I think he swapped Wastelands for Rashad imports. Beyond that, at least main deck looking real quick, it looks pretty similar, so let's run through it. The namesake of the deck is, of course, Elves, and so we have most in the deck in terms of creatures. We have 4 Llanowar Elves, 4 Premodern Elves, 4 Kyrian Ranger, 4 Wirewood Symbiote, 3 Priest of Titania, 4 Multani's Acolyte, 2 Deranged Hermits, 2 Masticore, 1 Nantuko Vigilante, 1 Tribal Force Mage, 1 Yavimaya Granger, 1 Squee Nabob, and 1 Anger, the other part of Angry Elves. Now, if you're not familiar with this deck, it's all about generating so much mana and so much value from its elves, but also using the 4 Survival of the Fittest. That's one of the reasons why Squee and Anger are in the deck. The deck also runs tax effects to slow down your opponent while you're flooding the board with 4 Tangle Wires, and runs a pretty minimal amount of lands considering the amount of mana dorks. 8 forests, 4 wooded foothills to go find the one of mountain to enable Anger, 3 Rashad imports, and 4 Guy's Cradle. In the sideboard, it looks like he's got 4 Call the Herds, 4 Naturalize, 2 Winter Orb, 3 Wall of Blossoms, a second Nantuko Vigilante, and a Tranquil Domain. Overall, a very strong list that can overrun your opponent very quickly if they don't have an answer to the turn 1 mana dork, and it's going to be an interesting matchup for sure. So let's see who he's playing against. Next up is Justin K playing white-black Control. And a really fun fact about this deck, this was actually the prize for a previous monthly and has remained unchanged. I believe Alec was the winner of this and ended up loaning it to Justin to play for this monthly, Justin being new to the Premodern format. And unchanged, this deck has actually made it to the top 8. That's pretty impressive, especially when you consider it may be not the most optimal version of white-black Control, notably missing a few Wrath of Gods and having some interesting sideboard choices. So yeah, let's just get into the list. This is very much a control list looking to control the board, control your opponent's hand before dumping big creatures or a big Decree of Justice down. So we have 4 Swords of Plowshares, 4 Duress, 4 Gerard's Verdict, 1 Smother, 1 Disenchant, 4 Vindicates, 4 Exalted Angels, the single Wrath of God, 4 Eternal Dragons, 4 Decree of Justice, and 3 Skeletal Scryings. For lands, there's 10 Swamps, 10 Plains, 4 Caves of Koilos, and 2 Dust Bowls. Sideboard, we have the typical ones like Perish. There's actually 2 Infests, so a little stand-in, I guess, for Wrath of Gods. 3 Engineered Plagues, 2 Circle Protection Red, 1 Warmth, 1 Death Grasp, which is kind of cool, 1 Stromgald Cabal, which is really cool considering how much Swords of Plowshares is arguably the best card in the format. The second and third Disenchant, an Aura of Silence, and a Diabolic Edict. And of course, the winner on Diabolic Edict, referring to the fact this entire deck was for the winner of a previous monthly. Overall, a really cool list. Like I said before, maybe not the most optimal version of white-black Control, but still really cool to see it make it this far with a new pilot. So I'm very excited to get in the game, so let's go. And here we go. Curran is on the left, Justin is on the right. Now, this will be a pretty interesting matchup, a very aggressive, almost even combo deck in Curran's side versus a very slow, very controlling deck on Justin's side. Looks like Curran will be starting us off, has the turn 1 mana dork play, and we'll see what Justin has. Is he going to use that swords? Looks like it. All right, Curran goes up to 21, and Justin does have an answer for the turn 1 mana dork, which is pretty paramount in slowing down this elf deck. Okay, we are going to fetch here. Curran going back down to 20. Probably just grabbing a forest, I'd have to imagine. Yep. Usually only want to grab that mountain after you've got at least 2 green sources on the battlefield. And really, when you know you're going to be able to play Anger pretty soon. All right, there's a Premodern Elf. And there's a Wirewood Symbiote to help protect that Premodern Elf. And black source here for Justin. He does have a Gerard's Verdict. That could be very good in slowing down what Curran is doing. Curran does need a decent amount of cards in hand. And he's going to be pitching a Priest of Titania and a Survival of the Fittest. Very interesting. Okay. Alright, Multani's Acolyte. I believe that's the card he kept in hand. He only had 1 card left in hand. Alright, there's a Kyrian Ranger. Going to bounce a forest to untap the Premodern Elf. turning the Kyrian Ranger upside down to note it's been used. Alright, we're going to bounce the Multani's Acolyte. 1 green floating, tapping the forest, play the Multani's Acolyte again. Land drop's already been made this turn, and we're just going to get in for 1. Curran, very familiar with this deck, having lots of reps with it. We've seen him play it on screen to pretty great success. Once again, in the top 8. And Justin with another Gerard's Verdict. That's pretty rough. Now, Curran can bounce an elf to hand if he doesn't want to discard it, but no, he's going to discard a second survival and a Guy's Cradle, and that is pretty rough, but being able to have access to the Multani's Acolyte to keep drawing cards should be fairly relevant. And Justin will gain 3 life here off of the Gerard's Verdict. Extra little bonus text. All right, bouncing the Multani's Acolyte so he doesn't have to pay for echo cost. 2 for the Acolyte again to draw. There's a mountain, the one of in Curran's deck. I didn't see what the second card is. Okay, we're gonna use the Kyrian Ranger and alright, play out the Multani's Acolyte again, play out the mountain for turn, and just get in for 2 here. Really, that Kyrian Ranger should have been upside down, but whatever, it's fine. Curran already showed the loop of what he was doing before, so. Okay, there's a Verdict for Justin. Oh, and he's got a Swords. He's going to Swords a Symbiote. In response, Curran will bounce the Acolyte. And just untap the Findhorn Elf, because why not? And Justin can just pass. There are a lot of lands in Justin's deck. To be this mana screwed is a little unfortunate. Alright, there's Multani's Acolyte again. Curran's drawn, what, 6 cards off of that? There's a port. That port is going to be pretty relevant. Swinging in for 2 here. Dropping to 18. On your upkeep, port the swamp. Does he have another? He did draw another Swords. Alright, Kyrian Ranger is now exiled as well. Curran's tools. Lagging a little bit. Alright, you're going to pay 2 for the echo cost for the Acolyte here. Alright, I think... Okay, he's just going to get in for 3 here. And then pass, port, the swamp, your go. Okay, Justin can plane cycle here, but is just going to pass. Oh, sorry, no. He can't because his swamp was tapped. Alright, there's a Priest of Titania. Swinging for another 3. If Curran gets to untap with this, that's pretty huge. Alright, gonna tap down the swamp again in response. Justin will plane cycle. So, he's gonna need to find an answer pretty quick here. Gonna play that plains for turn. Finally hitting his 3rd land drop, but even with all of the removal he's had, I think he is definitely behind in this match. Okay, draws another plains. If he has the one of Wrath of God, which it doesn't look like he does in hand currently, that is definitely a good outlet. Alright, here's 2 for the Multani, the second Multani's Acolyte, I should say. Then 3 for a Tangle Wire. Oh, that I think just slams the door on Justin's ability to interact with this. Alright, swinging in for 4. Drops down to 8. On your upkeep, tap 4. So yeah, before you get a draw. Yes, okay. So if he wants to do something here, he has to do it now. Vindicate is a sorcery, so he can't do that. Okay, we're going to disenchant the Tangle Wire. One of them in the main deck. Very good draw to have. There's another swamp. Black Source open. Won't be able to do much with it. Alright, pay the echo cost on the Multani's Acolyte. Ooh, double Rashad and port. Swings for 6. Justin's at 2. He literally needs a Wrath of God here to survive. However, Kern can double tap his planes. Looks like that's what's happening. And we're going to go game number 2. All right, here we are in game number 2. Elves getting to do elf things. Unfortunately, Justin does not finding lands early on, so even though he did have relevant removal and hand attack, could not progress his board state to play his own threats or even bigger piece of interaction. He will be on the play this turn, though. Looks like he does have 2 lands in hand. Just going to lead off with the plains and say go. And Kern with the Mana Dork start, Findhorn Elves. Justin drawing the swords off the top. Very nice top decking. Does have a Gerard's Verdict for next turn potentially. Has a Skeletal Scrying in hand as well. Alright, there's 2 for Multani's Acolyte, draw a card, pass to you. That indicates a pretty weak hand from Kern, I feel like. Not having another Mana Dork to follow up, having to potentially pay the Echo cost here. He doesn't really want this card to die. Okay, there's a Gerard's Verdict. Pitch 2 cards. And we'll get a better indicator of what Kern's hand is looking like. It's a little too close to his chest to see, but 2 lands. Justin gains 6. The bonus text on Gerard's Verdict being very good there. I think Gerard's Verdict is a card that could be printed into standard. Okay, so Kern paying the Echo cost here, swinging in for 2. I just want 8 rack to be a thing in Pioneer and and Standard. Actually, they have that one enchantment that kind of functions as is. So Justin just playing land and passing. He does have a Decree, which he will use here to make just a 1/1. I don't think he's chump blocking. Oh, okay, he is going to chump block. Oh, that's right, the Multani's Acolyte is a 2/1. I keep thinking it's a 2/2. Okay, does block the Multani's Acolyte here. And Kern with the Call of the Herd from the sideboard. Pretty good call, pun intended. Justin does have a lot of removal, so the 2-for-1 off of Call of the Herd can be very relevant. Also relevant, Justin probably brought in Infests from his sideboard because he doesn't have Wrath of Gods, and Infests don't do much against a 3/3. Alright, tapping for 4. We're gonna get, yeah, Skeletal Scrying here for 3. So Justin will lose 3, go to 21, draw 3. This is at instant speed, so he's looking to do something, I think, potentially. No, he is just gonna pass. Okay. Alright, there's a Wooded Foothills for Kern. Gonna tap for 3, for a Tangle Wire. And get in for 4. Finally dropping Justin's life below 20. Then going to fetch. Is this where we grab a mountain? Yes, that makes sense. I forgot to mention the deck tech actually, but Kern's whiteboard cards, he actually whiteboarded them himself. And yes, those are all real cards. Those cradles are, in fact, whiteboarded real cards. That's some dedication. He really likes the aesthetic of it. It definitely makes it stand out. Okay, looks like on Justin's upkeep, he is going to tap down the cave, yeah, forcing him to tap down his other 4 lands, and Justin can just play a Plains and pass. Tangle Wire, a notoriously fair and balanced card. Kern having to tap down 3 permanents now, but you can tap the Tangle Wire to itself, which is very good. Alright, land for turn and swing for 4. Kern getting a little mana flooded here. I think hoping for survival or something. Okay, we are going to flashback Call the Herd here. He is going for blood, saying, I don't think you have Wrath of Gods. And he would mostly be right. That Perish, though, I forgot about the Perish in the sideboard. That Perish is devastating. Goodbye to all of your creatures. One of Perish. I'm assuming the Infest also still came in. Okay, 2 here for Tanglewire. There's a Wirewood Symbiote. And a Cradle for turn. Curran with no cards in hand, but is going to tap down 2 lands. Unless Justin has a response. No, just tapping lands to the ports and the wires. He does have a Decree of Justice. He could gear up for a very big Decree next turn. There's a Vindicate as well. He's going to Vindicate the Symbiote and say, well, land drop first, right? Yep. Okay, Caves and then pass. All right, we're looking at potentially a Decree for 5 if Justin wants. Okay, there's a Multani's Acolyte. We'll see if Curran can get something rolling here. 3 for another Tangle Wire. And that's pretty rough. All right, so this is where I think Justin fires off the Decree for 5. Gonna leave. No, actually, tapping everything down with Tangle Wire. Choosing to play the slow game. Wanting max value here. There's an Engineered Plague for Elves. I don't know if that was in his hand before he decided or he drew it off the top. Either way, very good card to have. I have to think Curran has some disenchant effects, some naturalizes brought in, but is just finding lands here. And is gonna port down 2 lands. Is this... No, Justin is still not going for it. Being patient, being very patient. Or does he... Well, he can play Morph. Okay, that's gonna happen. Say go. Curran gonna fetch here. For no other reason really than just to thin the deck, needing to find something. He's got all the lands he needs. Alright, Tangle Wire will tick up. You can tap the other Tangle Wire before it disappears. Yep. And then drawing for turn. Okay, there's a Priest of Titania that will die, yeah, unfortunately. I think Curran forgetting about the Engineered Plague. And at this point, I think Curran has lost this round. So Justin, in response, can just tap down mana to flip. No, he's not going to flip the Angel. Okay, there's a Dust Bowl. He still can flip it if he wants, but he'll have to pay life to do so. I do wonder if Justin knows that he can not only morph at instant speed or as a special action, but can also cycle at instant speed. Okay, he is gonna Dust Bowl here. Okay, not flipping, just swinging for 2. Alright, Tangle Wire tapping to itself. Dust Bowl taking care of one of the ports. And Curran gonna port a Plains. And tapping 1 to Tangle Wire. Another land for turn. These are all the lands I was talking about in game 1 that I was surprised Justin didn't see. This deck just finds lands like nobody's business. Alright, another Dust Bowl here on the other Rishadan port. Gonna pay to flip the Angel, swing for 4. And now the tables truly have turned, with Justin having more life than Curran. Assuming Curran is actually marking it on the dice, which he is not. Curran is prone to keeping score on a pad of paper, which is totally fine. But we also ask that players update the dice. But I think at this point, I think Curran's missed 2 sets of damage. Oh, another Exalted Angel. And I think Curran is actually within dying range this turn. And yep, Curran's just going to scoop it up, and we're going to game number 3. And here we are in game number 3. That Perish from Justin was the swing moment of the game for sure. All right, but Curran is back on the play. Elves notoriously good for being on the play, and unfortunately Curran is going to mulligan, so we're going to cut to when he has a keepable hand. All right, so Curran looking at keeping 6 here. Not sure what was in his original 7, but lands and spells are always good. Having a turn 1 mana dork is pretty great, although Justin has had an answer for it both games. It looks like Curran will be keeping here. Leading with a forest and a Finhorn and pass. We have not seen a survival of the fittest hit the field this match. Just a swamp from Justin this time, and the elf lives for the first time. What are we doing with it? All right, there's a Call of the Herd. Get a 3/3. Say go. All right, there's a Caves. I see a Vindicate, a couple of Dust Bowls, an Engineered Plague. And Justin just going to pass. 4 is for Curran. Get in for 3. Are we going to see a Tangle Wire? Do we flash back Call of the Herd? Are we going all out? There is a Perish in Justin's hand. I just noticed that. Sneakily behind the swamp. Curran really wanting to get value here, but maybe... Nope, he's going for it. No guts, no glory. There's another elephant token, and Justin will be more than happy to fire off this Perish. Taking a point to do so. Life total needs to be reset on the dice. Hopefully that happens. All right, there's a Finthorn, and there's a Winter Orb coming in from the sideboard. Say go. You may only untap 1 land. What do you want to untap? All right, just the plains. There's an Angel. Swamp for turn and pass. I remember Justin is at... Oh no, he did, yeah, I think he just missed the damage off of the Caves. He did take damage from, yeah. Unfortunate miss, hopefully it's not relevant. All right, Finthorn Elves from Curran. Dust Bowl here for Justin. And there's an Engineered Plague on Elf. Once again, stabilize. Will take a while to untap all that mana, but now has the time to do so, and Curran can just pass, unfortunately. All right, Justin finding land drops here, making that orb a little less painful. He can morph here and make a 2/2, or he can Vindicate the orb. Okay, say go. Curran does benefit from this first, but considering he didn't play out a creature last turn... Yep, that is on Elf. Considering he didn't play it out last turn... Okay, there's a Call of the Herd. Gets another 3/3. We'll need to draw another land or have a Mandork survive to flash it back. But with 2 Dust Bowls, that seems not super likely. Are we going to be Skeletal Scrying here? No, we're just hard casting an Exalted Angel. You know what deck has a really hard time dealing with Exalted Angels? Elves. Basically, I think their only way to get them off the board once they resolved is a Masticore. Speaking of morph, though, that is most likely an Nantuko Vigilante. I think that's the only thing it actually can be. I guess, no, it could be, the elf that pumps when it turns up. But it seems pretty likely that Curran will have brought in more Vigilantes. All right, there's a second hardcast. Exalted Angel for Justin and a pass to Curran. Those 4/5 lifelinker is going to be really problematic, and Curran really needs a way to deal with them. Curran also not updating his dice, unfortunately. But looks like it may not be relevant. So he's already taken 4, so that 16 roughly, in for 8, down to 8, and Curran need an answer this turn, I think. Justin with a whole mess of life. Yeah, not having the mana for Masticore, I'm not sure what Curran's outs are here. I don't think he has the mana to combo off. All right, there's a smother for one of the elephants. And okay, we're gonna skeletal scrying for 3. Draw 3. Still has 2 up. Couple of lands. Looks like a dragon. Yeah, I'm gonna pass. And I think this is gonna be game. Yep, current extending the hand, and Justin takes it down in 3. Sometimes a big flyer with lifelink is just all you need to beat a bunch of little elves. Congrats to Justin for taking it down. Again, I believe this is his first pre-modern event, so very cool to see not only a deck that was a prize for a previous monthly, but also a new pilot making it into the semis. Make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss that match. And if you already are subscribed to the channel and want to support even more, subscribing is definitely the best way. Please check out the Patreon. You may notice all these wonderful people's names displayed on screen. These are our current patrons. You guys are amazing. Thank you for everything. The money from the Patreon goes to travel expenses, to film at other locations, other cities, other states. I've been lucky enough to travel to a bunch of places for really cool pre-modern and old school content, as well as gear upgrades and just making more videos and better quality videos for the channel. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you next time.